welcome back to episode 32 of the Pro Series podcast. I'm Eric Dillman, and on today's episode, I talk with Rebecca Rhamy from Precision Cabinet Co. out of Ohio. Rebecca tells me all about her interesting career from going from teacher to designer and everything Precision Cabinet Co. Like always, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the Pro Series podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts. But now I hope you enjoy episode 32 with Rebecca Rhamy. Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca, for coming on today. I'm excited to talk about precision cabinetry and how you got into the business.
Thank you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks. Doing good.
I want to introduce you to most people listening. We met by the time this episode airs, It's going to be a couple months, but we met back in the Pittsburgh Home Show in March, which Precision Cabinetry's show display was amazing.
Thank you. That was a good show. Thank you.
It was, yeah. And
I think they've done that 11 years. I think that's Levi's 11th year at that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of people from Pittsburgh area?
We get a lot. We do a lot of work in Cranberry Township, Mars. Oh. We actually travel all over. So we go into Virginia, Michigan. A lot on the Eastern Middle High.
Well, that's crazy. So as designers, are you going to the houses all the way here in Cranberry and Mars?
Yeah. And our install crew with the giant trailers and everything loaded, they're amazing. Kudos to our install crew because they navigate that. Sometimes every day for a week. They don't stay. They come back to load up again and get more and head back out. It's grueling, but it's rewarding, but they don't get enough credit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get into that. But first, I want to talk about you, your role in the company and how you kind of got into the design world. And was it always a thing growing up? Hey, go ahead.
It kind of was. I think by the time I hit middle school, I knew then I was really interested in the aesthetics of my room, placing things accordingly, making sure it was all balanced. Just because I truly had a passion for it and enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
It came more to fruition as I got into high school and I hit spells of insomnia. So I would, at the time, I don't want to date myself, but there was no internet.
Okay.
So Better Homes and Garden magazines, housing magazines, and all these design magazines that at the time, that's what your resources were. That's what the resources were. And if you came in my room next to my bed, just strung out piles of magazines of different designs, homes, style, everything. And so I think that's probably when it really, really clicked for me. And then I headed off to school for interior design.
Where did you go for school?
I went to Bowling Green.
Okay. For
2.5 years of interior design. And then I ended up oddly switching into education. Switched to education. And I just recently got back into design probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
I taught 20 years.
Oh, really? What did you teach?
Yeah. I taught anywhere from preschool. I had 8 years in preschool. As my children were growing up, I did a lot of long-term subbing. And then after that, I went to teach English language learners. So English as a second language.
Oh, man. That's a completely different breed of teaching, I feel like.
I loved it. I really did like it. COVID hit, and that kind of was a nice shifting point for me.
Okay.
But I was near a college campus, so I had probably 26 plus students. So.
Oh, wow.
But I knew then I wanted back to design. I knew then the way that education was going, unfortunately, they're losing a lot of good educators. But at that point, my passion had kind of shifted back into design because the industry was starting to really pick up much more. Yeah, because it didn't crash, but it had kind of died out for a little bit from 2008 on. And then it's spiking again. Now we're in a huge spike. So
absolutely. I mean, so it was probably a great time for you to get back into design, especially since like COVID, everybody's stuck in their homes and realizing how much they hate their homes and want it redesigned.
Yeah, right. You're exactly right. And so for me, it was one of those kind of God-sent moments that it was such an easy transition and the cards just laid out perfectly. So what had happened, to be honest with you, is I was sitting at my desk one day doing some planning right before COVID hit. I got a phone call and they had asked, actually it was Adrian in our office. We had a kitchen design we were going to do with Precision Cabinet Company. So we were going to do our own personal home. Adrian had called to make sure that they didn't drop the ball on us and that things were going okay, just to make sure to see where we were with the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
We had decided to go to a move-in ready home, but he said the gentleman that was working with us was no longer there, had moved on to another employer. So the light bulb goes off. Hey, did you fill that spot? If you're interested in filling the spot, pull those renderings, pull those designs. Those are mine. I did them. Let me know. Give me a call. So lo and behold, he called. I went down, got connected, did some interviewing, and that's how I got back into design.
Wow. So
I know. So I truly believe in the cabinets. I mean, that makes it's easy to sell something when you're really A, passionate, and B, you believe it. So
yeah, and that's something you were telling me about at the show. What that puts your company away from any of the competitors? It's all custom made. You don't do any semi-custom cabinetry. Is that right?
No, not a bit. We are every inch, and it's a process with us. Yeah, there's not an ounce of cabinet. I mean, to the inch, literally. It's custom made, scaled to their space, and that's why I wanted them too.
Yeah.
We were redoing a home. I had lost my father. We were redoing a home he had started the kitchen in, and it was really dear to me. And I needed somebody that was going to take care of it the way I wanted it to and make it as custom, because he was tall. So all of the cabinetry in that home, the base cabinets, were higher. Because he was so tall. So I needed somebody that could match that and could do the custom work, and he found Levi. So yes, every inch of what we do is custom.
Jeez. So I specialized in kitchen and design for past 5 years. And it's all semi-custom cabinets most of the time. And so the standard sizes, what accessories goes where.
Yeah.
How much more do you have to know to make sure you're customizing the cabinet correctly to fit that double sink or that basin or whatever you're doing? Because those are already coming in a semi-custom line.
Right. I almost think that custom is easier because you're starting from scratch. So think about, your guys are trying to fit units in. You're trying to fit units into a space that's there. So for us, we design around that space. That's a lot easier, I think. So instead of kind of cramming so many boxes in, like a Rubik's Cube or almost like a puzzle, ours is a lot easier. So we start from scratch. It's a lot easier to design in that sense.
So when you're going into start with your process on how you start out with a client. You get leads from obviously the home show or call in, and then you go to the home. You do the full measure and everything?
Yes. Actually, to be honest, most of our referrals most of our jobs at this point, I think 80% of what we've gotten are referrals. So that tells you, which is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Since I've been there, I've had an opportunity, and I love it, to prospect for the company. So we're pulling in some newer clients that way, or some newer contractors, and building new partnerships. Yeah. But it wasn't needed, really still isn't needed. It's just fun to help grow the company. And you learn so much more the more people that you connect with. But as far as that goes, what was I'm sorry, ask that question.
Like the process of how you guys go through a job.
I'm sorry. My daughter just came in. So I kind of gave you the heads up, but it didn't work. So excuse me. As far as the process goes, once we connect with the client or the contractor, sometimes they have the design ready for us. We enter it into our cabinet system. Our cabinet vision is it's like a CAD system that we use. Okay. So basically, we connect with them. We either start with a blank slate completely, or they give us the plans we have. We get them in there, connect with the client, start talking about some of the inspo pictures they have, what their style is, what they like, how do they want their space to function, what's their daily routines, what are your non-negotiables. So once we get that down, that goes into our project managers, goes into the system, they get it pulled up, we get a quote, we'll return that to the client. If they're interested, we sit down and then dig in deeper. We start looking at sample colors, different wood types and species, depending on what they need. Then we have a site manager go out and measure on site. So that takes care of where exactly is the plumbing going to line up, where exactly are the structured walls. There's a lot of detail that goes in there. But our guys are so skilled. They're craftsmen. It's amazing. I mean, they're not your typical, they're not trained yesterday. These guys are born and bred in the culture of it. Oh yeah. It makes a big difference, I think, when that happens. And sometimes it's just a knack they have. We have a couple guys. And they're young. Some of these guys are young, and it's just a knack that they have. They grew up in it with their parents, and I think absorb a lot of it through osmosis. So once the site manager goes out, gets measured, they come back, we sit down with the client, fine tune any other details, make modifications that they need. At that point, we do a sign off. It goes into production, and then to our finishing department. We have our own finishing department, so quality control is right there. We look at it before it leaves, and then our awesome install crew takes it. They do the install.
My gosh. And you saying that this is all Amish made cabinets?
These are all, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, Levi started this company as a one-man band, and now we've got 20 employees. 20th year. This year's his 20th year. We're celebrating a 20 year. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good for him. My
It is.
gosh. How many designers do you have on staff?
Actually, we don't really even have designers. We have what we call project managers, project coordinators, because we work with a lot of designers too. But if you don't come with a designer, you're not with a firm, then these guys do that. They're skilled enough, or I sometimes help. I come in, I step in, I've set some selections out for you. We'll look at different, what do you want? What are you looking for? Sometimes they know right away, and they're right on it, and I want this, and they lay it out. Sometimes they come in and they don't know, or they can't get it all put together. It's really overwhelming for a lot of clients, and you know this, to put all of that together.
Oh yeah.
So some pieces might look good by themselves, but when you start putting it cohesively together, it doesn't go.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of their biggest struggles.
What do you say? I mean, a lot of people probably don't know the difference between stock, semi-custom, and then custom. I mean, stock being is what you'd go to a box store, you just buy whatever's off the shelf. You have very few options. Semi-custom, kind of the same way. You have a little bit more options, but you could order the finish that you want, like wood and stuff. Custom is completely getting built for your project. What are the benefits for that for a client? Even if they have a small house or a big house, what are the benefits?
Well, and I think it goes back to that one of the first questions you asked me. If I thought it was easier or not working with custom or semi-custom or your stock. Yeah. Custom is that's the difference to me. Instead of trying to fit 5 boxes in a space, you actually can think of a really well-tailored suit. You can get a suit, right? You can either get a semi-made suit, get it tailored, get it taken care of, take it in here, a pinch here and a pinch there, and it looks okay and you're good. And there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you're going for. Yeah. You can have your stock, which is just go pick it up off the shelf. You're going to put it on and you wear it. Or you can go full suit, tailored to you, measured to your inseams. I mean, tailored to your body. So we tailor our cabinets to their home. So it's a higher end. And sometimes people, I think, have concern. They feel it's not as cost effective. And it might feel like that up front. But I think you're probably... I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but the investment that you get back on those cabinets is unreal. The quality.
Yeah, and I think also the use of space, because lots of the time in semi and stock lines, you only, like you're saying, it's like Tetris. You're putting boxes into a space and you're voiding a corner or something. You're voiding some valuable space that you could be customizing, using every square inch of that kitchen or bathroom or whatever you're using.
It really is. And that's where I think, to me, I don't want to use the word easier, but it's not as challenging to try to fit those pieces in. And it just works so much better for the client, especially in the custom homes. We even had a gentleman come to us that does modular homes, and they're good quality homes, but they're putting stock cabinets in, and it's killing him because he said, I really want to be able to offer my clients a better quality cabinet. And I really want them to be able, they're not large homes. So I really want them to utilize the space that they have. Yeah. So we've been talking to him about, because we do small kitchens clear up to homes that have 3 kitchens, or a cook's kitchen and then a regular kitchen, or a cabana. And we've done up to 14 rooms in a home. I mean, it's fun. And we do smaller, more efficient homes too. It's all about getting the bang for your buck back. I think when you're putting your home's an investment.
Oh yeah. And you could easily put that in your resale saying that these are custom cabinets.
And they last. Your doors last, your hinges last. And ours are all framed. So that Euro style, that new flat front panel, which is, and you're very well aware of this, but for a client that wouldn't understand the difference, ours are framed.
Okay.
So there's a frame there. And I always try to explain it almost like a cardboard box. If you sit a cardboard box on its side and it's open, it's kind of flimsy and it rocks around, right? But if you actually put a frame or a small, just a little bit of a frame on the front side of that, that's not shifted as much. It's not going anywhere. And we have now been able to get the framed cabinet with a frameless Euro look, which is, it's challenging, but that's how good the draftsmen are.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a whole different structure.
Yeah. How custom are they going with door style? Like, can a designer come in and have think of some type of odd design for a door style, and can they just replicate that, or is it set door styles that you guys offer?
Either one. We've had them come in with a door, and they say we need to add on to the pantry. We would like the same door style from our kitchen into our pantry. They bring us that door, and then we can make that same profile on their new. We'll match the stain. We match the paint. We can make it exactly like what they've got. If they want to start a new home, then we can work with them to find that exact profile. And when they say profile, it's like turning a door on its side, and you can see the edging, and even if it's got a panel in the middle. But we work with a couple different door companies where we have a catalog full of individual profiles, and there's a plethora of combinations that you can do to get a really custom door. So the nice thing about custom is other people won't have it.
Oh yeah.
So if you've got an idea of something, and we can actually have a sample made up for clients. So we can put something together, send it out, let them replicate, get the door made. They'll send it back and we'll look at it. Because sometimes you're like, ooh, that's not what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
Oh yeah.
Another benefit of it.
When you mention that, I am thinking of someone has an old craftsman house that has a lot of style to it, and their kitchen's just falling apart, but they want to replicate that original craftsman style to the kitchen. You can't do that on stock cabinets. You're not going to put white shaker in a craftsman style home, which a lot of people are doing for flips.
Yeah.
And I guess a normal person would think that's okay, but the designer in me, that hurts me to do that.
Kind of makes you go, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Wow. It's hard, but yeah, that's what's nice about it. So once you get, and when you find those craftsman homes, the quality of the cabinet, the box behind that door is really good quality. So you want to match that still with the door, but update it. So yes.
Yeah. And that's another thing. A lot of people are finding that obviously cabinets are not made the same way anymore. Like the ones you buy in the big box stores or you get semi-custom, they're just not made. I feel like everything now is made to be replaced, like appliances.
Yes.
Everything is because they want you to keep buying them. So if you think of it that way, like these cabinets will last, 50.
It's an heirloom. Like we have that. Yes, we have that written in our values. And as we start to grow our culture and keep bringing new guys into the team, that is one of Levi's staple. We build heirloom cabinetry. We want it to last through forever. Those are the things that we want. We need it and want it to be there for the rest of your, that's something. If your home is there and you pass that on in generations, we want that in your home. It's grandma and grandpa's cabinets or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, I see a lot of people put really, really expensive stone on these stock cabinets. And I'm like, oh, you don't know how that's going to set up.
I know. And so it's really hard. I feel like that's one of our biggest jobs in the industry. And I think for you too, probably is just educating the clients.
Yeah.
They don't know. It's not their realm. That's our job to educate them, to explain them the difference between a stock cabinet, to explain the difference in quotes between that stock or semi-custom compared to our custom. It isn't apples to apples at all.
Yeah.
The price point is higher on your custom because it's a better quality cabinet. It lasts longer. All of those things come into play. We can get you the walnut woods. We can get, and I think when people understand that, most people choose to go custom. They want that process. They understand the investment that they're making because that's what it is. And so that part, I think, it makes a big difference when we're going to sit down and discuss those two things.
Yeah.
when people first come in.
Yeah, and you have 'cause a lot of customers don't realize you're really paying for the craftsmanship and the work for it. Because yeah, anybody could go out and buy wood, but what are you going to create with that wood? Are you going to get someone to actually create a masterpiece or something that looks aesthetically pleasing but falls apart in 2 years? So I mean, exactly, you can't compare apples to apples because yes, they did something with wood, but doesn't necessarily be sturdy and hold up at the time.
Well, and if you think of particle board, we use a 3/4 inch plywood on the back of all of our cabinets. That's standard for us. Yeah,
that's
which
always
is a
like
little
an upgrade in semi-custom cabinets.
Yes. So most of our stuff, like I had a gentleman in the office help me put together some points on our standards for our construction, because it is just a little bit, the quality's higher because of those standards.
Yeah.
It is a 3/4 inch plywood. We do use drawer glides. We use high quality materials in our cabinets, and it goes along. And think of socks. You can buy a pair of socks, tube socks at Dollar General, or I don't even have a good comparison on this, but you can do that, or you can actually go buy a good set of running socks. Because if you're running, those two things, and the quality in the two, it's not comparable. You'll have holes and stretched out, and they're not going to wash well. They don't wear well. Okay. Or you can buy a nice padded sock that's built for running and to last longer, and it lasts a lot longer.
Exactly. So with your company, what is the territory, and what are you looking to grow out more from that territory, or how's that looking?
We're always looking to grow outside. We're lucky and been blessed now to get into Tennessee, Kentucky, like I said, Michigan, Indiana. Yeah, we have some vacation homes that we do down in South Carolina. We're looking at some of those homes. We do a lot in Pennsylvania. So we'll travel. We'll go wherever it is. So as far as the builds go, in that sense, and then our guys install. So we'll send our team out. We load up and go. And we actually had another one that we talked about going a lot farther west on. So we sat down to work through that. How are we going to do that? Are we going to get a big rig and load and go on one trip? The challenges are fun. Those growing challenges are fun.
So those long distance ones that you're doing, every single day you're going there, or do they actually like get a hotel or something? They're going there every day.
That's why sometimes it's nice to get some large contractors local to help save our guys. They do it and they don't, but they travel there and then they travel back home. And then they load up that night for the next day. Because sometimes with larger jobs, we might take 2 or 3 trips for that home, for that builder, for that contractor. And so when we do that, especially in the farther locations that are farther, they're coming home. And like I say, we appreciate them so much. And I don't know that we say it enough to them. We probably should say it more. I know we say it, but that's a long day.
That is a long day.
And they're good. Those guys are good. If you compared that, our team is amazing. We just did some work for Gervasi and got in there. And I always go out. It's not Gervasi Vineyards is in Canton, Ohio. It's a commercial. Okay, we work with them. It's at a commercial level. We do something. But they load all those up. And when I got in there, it's really nice to see them collaborate around the challenges of doing some of those installs, because it was not an easy puzzle to put together with those pieces. And that when you look at some of those prints, different fillers or where you're going to run different joint, and sometimes it doesn't always match up because maybe the floor is it's not level.
Something's always going to come up with like that.
Yes. And so they work really hard to work through that stuff. That's why I say we don't give them. So those are some of the other challenges that they have, not only with the travel side of it and as far as we go, with those things too. And they work through them. Yeah.
So I remember you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was looking at your display at the home show, and like most of the time in a semi-custom cabinet, you could see where a cabinet ends.
Yeah.
And yours was just like the face frame was like all pretty much looked like one solid cabinet, which to me, that drives me crazy when you see the ending of a new cabinet. Yeah, because you really have to trust them to shim it correctly to make sure 2 boxes are looking the same.
Yes.
That was insane to me when I was looking at that.
And that goes to our finishing department. And they're amazing at finishing. And you couldn't see those units like you're saying. That's where the fillers come in.
Yeah.
And that actual kitchen that you saw, that was probably the 16th or 17th time, or maybe more than that it's been assembled.
Oh man.
So that's probably, so that we're done with that kitchen now. We're gonna move on to another, but think about how many times that's been assembled, disassembled, assembled, disassembled, bouncing around in a truck. It's on different floors. It's not level. So you're shimming and then you're tweaking things the way it's supposed to go. So yeah, the quality, that's why I say, when you talk about a custom cabinet, the quality, that's one of the reasons why I wanted them in my home, my personal home. The quality is just unreal. And like you said, it is.
Oh yeah. And then for the finishing process for like paint, stains and stuff, do you have a shop for that?
Mm-hmm. We have it right attached.
Wow. My gosh. So are you doing any of that type of stuff in a home?
We do it if we need to fix some things, like if there's something that needs touched up, which is very rare, but things happen and sometimes we will. So our master finisher will go out on site, take the concoction, take the things. I don't know what he does, but it's like, he's amazing. And you can never tell. You would never see, sometimes even in a drywall or in a ceiling, you can see where it's been retouched.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does. But we have because it's on our shop side there, before they leave, we finish them, we can do any kind of colors custom. And then it's nice to have the ability to look at it before we send it on a site.
Oh yeah.
So if you sub that out to somebody, you're not going to get the quality. We honestly, we have discussed it because it would be maybe more efficient sometimes for us to do that. Or if we had a big thing come through production, I think we could run up to 160 linear feet in a week. But if we're going to go beyond that, yeah. But
gosh. And then how about lead times now? Because most of the kitchen places that I know of have crazy, 6 months to order cabinets. Are you, obviously you're going to face some because there's some of the materials that people aren't realizing, like the brackets and stuff that you do in the cabinets, but how fast can they build?
Right now at sign off, and it's not a matter of how fast it can build, it's a matter of how full our pipeline is. We really haven't had, we've been lucky. We really haven't had those delays in shipments. I don't know how or why. But I also can say in the community that we're in and with that culture, if you need slides, you can call somebody else. They'll be like, yes, I have 50 extra this week. Just get me, So we've been lucky enough. We had another cabinet maker call us, hey, do you have any extra slides? I ran out this week and we had ordered extra in stock. Sure. Come get them, use them. And then, so there's a lot of bartering that way. So that helps a lot. Had a little bit of issues in our lead time on doors, but overall our lead time now from sign off is 10 to 12 weeks.
Whoa.
Which isn't bad.
No.
When I started 2 years ago, it was 6 to 8 weeks from sign off.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. Cause I've heard people having 8 months, lead from day you sign to the day they even start the job.
Yeah. No, now I will tell you this much at this point, because things have flown in. We did the 2 shows. We did Cleveland, we did Pittsburgh. So we've gotten a little bit more traffic there. So getting the quotes back right now have been about a 3-week wait time, which that's abnormal for us. But once we've signed off, then it is a 10 to 12 week. And your sign off could be anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, and sooner, depending on the flow. We've got a couple new salesmen that have come in, or project coordinators, which has helped keep that flow going a little bit better. But we like to train them thoroughly before we start doing that, just to minimize and keep quality to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And then for anybody listening, where can they, if they're trying to figure out if you guys even go out to them, location wise, where have you gone and where will you want to go in the future? I
don't even know that I would say there's anywhere that we wouldn't go.
Okay.
So if someone called us from New York and they wanted a quote, I don't know that I've ever heard Levi say no. Now, is it going to be a matter of maybe strategically fitting it in our schedule at this point?
Yeah.
Of course it would be, but I don't know that the answer would ever be a no. we would have to sit down, look at some, semantics going through that. But overall, that's the whole goal, is to grow, to be one of the best cabinet makers in the nation. That's literally what we have written in our values and within the company's goals, and to make the heirloom cabinetry that goes with that. So we just got done. I'm hoping we get a little bit of traffic. We just got done doing a commercial, and that'll start airing this month.
Will it be in Pittsburgh at all?
I don't know if they'll do it in Pittsburgh. I'm hoping that we do. We just started small to see how this would go.
Oh, okay.
Because don't forget, we're an Amish-based company.
Yeah.
So as we grow, we want to be very respectful to the base of where this company came from. Mm-hmm. So the culture stays, because you don't ever want to lose the essence of that, because that's what makes the cabinet so good.
Yeah.
But we also want to grow and keep up with the client's needs and what they want and the pace that they move at. So doing some of these other things as far as commercials, we can reach more clients and do that. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we get into the Pittsburgh. We're going to talk about that. We ran this one as a trial for a couple months to see.
Yeah.
And then I would love it. I would love to get it into Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
The commercials.
Yeah. Do you struggle with finding like companies like for countertops or any of those other ones that are companies that don't travel like you guys do? Do you struggle to find that when you're going to all these different areas?
I don't know well, I guess we struggle to find the partnerships and to trust somebody, because, and I think you probably can attest to that.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially with how good quality your cabinets are, you don't want to downplay that with a countertop company that comes in and just completely scrapes up your cabinet or something.
Yeah. And then how are you going to treat our clients? One of the reasons I came to see you, Eric, that's how we met.
Yeah.
I wanted to find more countertop that we could find, maybe more vendors. So we were reaching out farther into Pittsburgh, and then I could use you as a vendor for those tops for clients. And you had a nice array of tops in there. So those are the things that, that's one of the reasons I stopped. So it led to here, which is fun.
Absolutely.
I want to find people interested.
Yeah, I'm so glad you stopped in, because it started this. And I have not had anybody that is on this side of the business, meaning not you are a designer, but you're also talking about a company that creates the product that a designer is putting in their home. So I've not had anybody like that on. So I'm so glad that you said yes to it and we're able to talk about it.
Well, and that's what I say. It's nice to build those partnerships. So to go back for and so so if coming to a company like yours to work with them, we need those, because they won't travel from Ohio, but we can find other sources and other vendors more local to where the job is, to the job site.
Absolutely. So last thing I want to talk about is where everybody could find your company on social media, website, anything you need to promote for the company.
Yeah, thank you. We have a website. We were excited. We launched that last year. It's a big deal. It was a big step. And we needed it more for the resource for clients to look to see what we've done. Because again, like I said, we're an Amish-based culture, so we try to keep that in respect. But that was a really nice resource to meet the needs of our clients, for them to see. It's in it, and for people, if we ran into someone, we can actually forward them then to that website. So it's under Precision Cabinet Co. Sometimes the old company, Precision Woodworking, will pop up, but be patient with us. We're working on that still, but I think those are starting to get ironed out. And you'll see a lot of kitchens we've done on there. It's a great resource.
Awesome. Well,
and then we have our Instagram feed. That's Precision_Cabinet Co. And like, I run that one, and it's my favorite, because you can get a little bit more of the personality of the company in there.
Yep.
The employees in there, behind the scenes. It's a little more candid.
It's almost like your own reality show, kind of.
Yeah, and it's nice, because like you and I connected on there really quick. It was right away. It's nice to see, and then I can follow your feed. So the networking there is unreal.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that probably helps you out when you travel to different locations, figuring out who's the correct vendor to use.
Yeah. And so those are the two. You can DM us on there. You can get on our website. There's a section in there. You can put contact information, and your requests can go in there, and we get that right away in an email, and then we'll respond to that. And then we also have Facebook, which is on there, which I should frequent probably more than I do. I just take everything from the Instagram and do you have a Facebook on yours?
I do. And I don't, I laugh because I do the same thing. It's connected to my Instagram. So like if I post on Instagram, it goes to Facebook, but I don't really go on the Facebook page to do anything like comments or likes and stuff. I don't do that.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's me, but it doesn't seem as interactive and it's not as personal, I think.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's so hard to grow on Facebook too, I feel like. And it's a completely different clientele, I feel like, too.
It is. And it just is not, I don't want to use the word intimate because it gets a little, but it really isn't. I don't get to see my clients and their kids, or here's an example. We have a client coming from California, and she DM'd me, hey, we're coming into Ohio. We really have, we've admired your cabinetry. We would love to do it. And so it gave me an opportunity. She's a young mom. When you get in, if you need some resources, you come into Ohio, if you don't have family here, let me know. I can shoot you some quick resources. If you need a general contractor, I can help you forward some of those. So that part of it's really, really nice. You get build such a nice base and relationship with clients through there. So that part is one of my favorite parts of the job.
Oh yeah, same. Connecting with people. I've connected with, like, I was on a podcast yesterday of someone in Australia. So like I would never have been able to do that if it wasn't for Instagram. Your
podcasts are amazing, by the way. I think you're doing great things. It's been fun to watch. So I get on and I check through and I see what you're doing. And it's nice. I admired your dog one day. You had some tiles set up.
Yeah, she's becoming famous slowly.
Yes, she should. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for jumping on here. I'm excited to get this out.
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. And I look forward to just staying in touch on Instagram and seeing where things are going. So